Carol Ofori, East Coast Radio.
Appreciation Monday is what we do every single Monday. It's our space to reflect on the good things. As I said in my keynote this past weekend, I had a keynote at the KZN Blind and Deaf Society. They had a beautiful Mother's Day sort of celebration, but also just celebrating women and, of course, celebrating the people who pour into the organization. That's an NPO that supports our most vulnerable communities in the blind and the deaf. You know, on Wednesday, we had Veli, who was here, and she has come through that organization and now part of the organization. So I had a keynote address on the day. It was beautiful. Just being in a room where I'm learning new things. For example, clapping for deaf people is this simple. So you literally take your hands and sort of shake them in the air, and that's clapping. And I also learned that this, which I thought was just like a cool sign, means love.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this sign. I know you can't see me who's listening, but I learned the sign for love, and I also learned the sign for love is also this, like Wakanda, the sign Wakanda is also love. And also clapping for people in the room who are deaf is this. So whilst we were there, some of us were clapping like this, and others are clapping like this. And just being in that space is such a blessing, because I'm learning, right, what it's like being, not being able to hear. And the most interesting part of it all was there was some music, and these deaf ladies got up and danced. And I asked the lady president, Vitha, I said, Vitha, how can they hear the music? How do they know the beat? Because they were dancing to the beat. And she said, no, vibrations. They can literally feel the vibrations, and that's how they get to the beat. It was just so beautiful, just removing myself from my bubble of privilege of having all my senses working for me, and just removing myself for a moment and just saying wow, and appreciating how people are living life even with things you would see as a disability, and yet for them just differently abled, right? They call it differently abled. So it was beautiful. Then of course Sunday, the Suncoast East Coast Radio Big Walk. B, you were there with the puppy and the family.
Hey,
give it to me.
So we were just there having a long stroll, but you know when you walk with the pet, it's a little different, so it's not as fast. But we eventually made it to the finish line. It was still a vibe nonetheless.
Yeah, beautiful day out, right?
I can imagine how much of a vibe it must have been for you, just being the entertainer,
right at the minister. End. It was beautiful. Let me tell you about a special moment. On Thursday, we did pack collections at the at Suncoast at the Plato Globe, and I met a man who came up to me and said, "Carol, I want a picture." And he said, "You know, Carol, this is my first big walk, but let me not tell you the story. Let me play for you what happened, B." There's another first timer who actually was about to do it last year, but due to health complications postponed it to this year, and your story is beautiful. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Adrian Tassia, and I'm 57 years old. I had an accident about 9 years ago where I lost part of my leg. I had an amputation and they couldn't save it, and I was supposed to actually do it about 4 years later to do the big walk with the rest of the guys that was in the hospital with me. Unfortunately, we never get to do that because I had another complication where I had a triple bypass just after that. Wow. Things have been pretty rough for me, but I overcome a lot of challenges in my life, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. Just think on a positive note, head in a direction where at the end of the day you can never turn back. There's no such thing as turning back and giving up in life. And this is my first time where the 5K tickets were sold out, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do the 10K.
And you're going to do the 10K. You said to me you're going to do it on one leg.
I've got the prosthetic, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, but I've got my son Aryan Tassia, who's also 13 years, and he's also flat-foot, and we both of us, we have, you could say we have legs problem, and he's going to be with me, and my girlfriend also, Daisy.
Oh, so it's the three of you guys doing it as a family?
Yes, we're doing it as a team, and we're going to go out there with positive attitude, and we're gonna have fun. That's basically what we intend doing, is having fun.
Carol Ofori, East Coast Radio.
So that was Adrian on Thursday. So I'm at the finish and I'm cheering everybody on, and I see these hands waving in the air. And guess who it was? Here is Adrian at the finish of the Suncoast East Coast Radio Big Walk. He came to say, Carol, I've done it. Adrian, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Carol. You know what? It was such an opportunity for me to do this. The first 5K just gave me a bit of a stiff start, but eventually, you know what? I pulled myself together, and with the support of my son and my girlfriend, Daisy, I pulled through, and it was just positive attitude, just your just the willingness just to go forth, just have the visualization to go forth. And you know what, I wanted to do this, and you know what, I think, you know what, at the end of the day, this is exactly what I wanted. And you know, I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of my kid and my girlfriend that actually supported me in doing this.
Now, by the time this plays, it will be Appreciation Monday. What is your words of encouragement for someone struggling right now? They've just heard the news like you did 4 years ago. They've lost their leg, or they're going for a triple bypass. What's your words?
Like I said, you know, life is a cycle. You know, or should I say a circle? You know, you go through your ups and downs, you go through your obstacles, you go through a lot of frustrations in life. And you know what, at the end of the day, you can't give up. You got to just pull yourself together, and you know what, just think on the positive note, have faith. And like I said, you know what, prayer will get you through everything in life. There's nothing that you cannot accomplish if you do not put yourself out there. You just got to put yourself out there and say, I can do it. And you know what, you can accomplish anything in life.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Adrian. Thank you again.
Thanks, Carol. Thank you so much.
Can you believe it, right? Can you believe it? He did it, the whole 10K. And I wasn't there till the very last person arrived. So he did it at a pretty good pace because I was able to intercept him. I also met Sisiwa, who was also somebody he spoke to. It was his second big walk. Mm-hmm. He finished. And the youngest one being Nate, he was with his dad and he also finished his 5K. So I was just like, it was so beautiful having spoken to the people collecting the packs and then seeing them at the finish. It was just something really special.
Success.
Yeah, and really high five, Adrian. What an inspiration. What a beautiful story. 061-792-9495. I want to hear your appreciations this morning.
Hi, Carol. This is Cindy here from Everton. I just want to say that I am eternally grateful for my wonderful husband, Colin. He's my rock. He's my strength. He's my lover. He's my best friend. And I could never, ever go through this life without him. And I just want to say thank you to him for who he is in my life. Cheers. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, Carol. I want to thank God for our anniversary today, which is my Ramchan. 33 years is quite a long time we've been together. And for 15 years he's in bed, brain stroke, bedridden, and I've been taking care of him. And thank God for this relationship and this anniversary that we're celebrating the marriage today. I thank God for everything that he gives me the strength to take care of him and the life we have together. I pray that even he's in bed, he will have a blessed day. Amen.
KZN's #1 hit music station, East Coast Radio.
When colds and flu attack families. At the first sign of colds and flu symptoms, activate your immune system.
Oh no! It's Septogard!
With antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immune support. Septogard. Your 5-in-1 infection fighter. Catch it in a pharmacy near you. Only germs and infections were harmed during the making of this trailer.
To protect your commercial property, you use CCTV. To protect your assets, you use fire detection. To protect your people, you use access control. But to protect your bottom line, you'll use IntelliSec to connect it all. Only IntelliSec's advanced technology can consolidate your security costs by consolidating your systems. And their 24-hour call-out guarantee means IntelliSec protects you faster. For one connection solution, there's only one name to remember: IntelliSec.
Estes School is a special needs school dedicated to intellectually disabled children, and your participation directly supports our students and their future. Join us for our Golf Day fundraiser on the 28th of May at Bluff National Park Golf Club. Enter your 4-ball now for only 3,000 Rand, including carts, a delicious dinner, and a prize-giving ceremony. Can't play? Sponsorships, cash donations.
To speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. To enact gratitude is generous and noble. But to live gratitude is to touch heaven. Shall I read it again? From Johannes Gardner, it says, to speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. To enact gratitude is generous and noble. But to live gratitude is to touch heaven. Yeah, these are just some of the inspirational words. Now, practicing gratitude can really boost your mood, as I mentioned earlier, as it shifts your focus from stress and negativity to rather the good things. So I'm asking you, who and what are you grateful for this morning?
Hi, Carol. It's Sam Boja. So yesterday, my youngest Shriyan turned 5 years old. I'm just so thankful this day, for God for allowing me to be a mom, not just once, but twice. I feel so blessed to be given the title of being called mom. So that's what I'm grateful and appreciative of today.
Hi, Carol. Charlene from Dundee. I am so grateful and appreciate the fact that my kids are back from the Northern Cape after 7 months. My grandbabies, I've got 2 and 1 on the way in a few weeks. So I'm over the moon that I'm going to be close by when my 3rd grandbaby is born in a few weeks.
Hi, Carol. Good morning. This is Colsum. I'd like to say, I just thank God for breathing and being alive, for the little blessings for every day. And I just thank the Almighty for good health, because with me, I feel that today, your health is your wealth. Trust me. Take care there and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for those voice notes. It's so beautiful. Listen, life gets very busy, but never get too busy to just say thank you, to take a moment and be grateful for what's around you, because gratitude costs you nothing. In the words of Oprah Winfrey, if you do not have 17 seconds in your day to practice gratitude, you do not deserve a good life. That's not what I said. That is what Oprah said. 17 seconds a day just to practice gratitude. She says you don't deserve a good life if you cannot. Gratitude costs nothing, but it means everything. And appreciate the people who check in on you, who support you, who love you and believe in you. And because flowers shouldn't only come out at funerals, but give them every day. Give people the appreciation whilst they can still hear it, see it, and feel it. And so with that said, we leave you with a lovely gratitude clip from Lily Mbinglo, who is an entrepreneur, a speaker, and an author. And this is what she had to say about gratitude.
I mean, if you go to any gated community, if you don't have the key, if you don't have a code, you cannot get in, my friends. So what's going to be our code to get through this gratitude gate? So simple. I just need you to be bad. Yes, I said it. Be bad. So whenever life throws curveballs at you, this is the first thing I want you to do. I need you to breathe. When you breathe, you're taking charge of your immediate environment, of your mind, of your spirit. The next thing I want you to do, which is what our A stands for, is to acknowledge everything that is right and thank God. And then our D is for you to dare to act in gratitude.
Carol Ofori, weekdays 9 to 12 p.m. East Coast Radio.